Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the roundtable talk by alumni, faculty members, and current SFC students, and called Why SFC. Yes. Did anyone join the roundtable called This is SFC or What is SFC Like, which was offered at the Play Online Open Campus on June 18th? Now, this time, we'll hold the roundtable talk by alumni, faculty members, and the current SFC students. And here we have, I'm Tatsuo Hagino of the Faculty of Environmental Information Studies. And we also have Professor Kunieda from Faculty of Policy Management. And we have two alumni, Mr. Lim Howe and Ms. Safarani Novita. And we also have two current students, Mr. Shaimay Shah and Ms. Kana Takechi. And today's the agenda is first of all, we'll present each self-introduction for about 1 minute each. And then we have three themes. What is SFC like before enrollment and during studies and post-graduation. Then we'll move on to the Q&A session. That's for the rest. And we'll answer the questions from this YouTube live chat box. So do you see the chat box? Please feel free to ask your questions in the chat box while you are listening or watching this video. So now, hold on, I will share my slides. Yes. So self-introductions. I'll start by myself. No, not moving. Yes. No. Yes, I'm Tatsuo Hagino, currently a professor at the Faculty of Environmental Studies, and my specialty field is software science. Anything related to software. Computer is run by the software, so I'm interested in the science of software. And actually, for my undergraduate studies, I stayed in Japan. Or actually, I come from the west area of Japan. It was too far away from Tokyo, so I stayed in the Kansai area. So I went to the Kyoto University and studied mathematics. And for my postgraduate, PhD studies, I decided to go abroad and to the Scotland, University of Edinburgh, and where I majored in the computer science. And the thesis title was something called categorical programming language. Actually, categorical means related to the category theory, which is the mathematics, because my background was mathematics. So I created a programming language based on the category theory. That was my experience. After that, I came back to Japan and worked for the Kyoto University and moved from 1990 to the Keio University. 1990 was the time when the Keio University was set up. This is the very early age of our SFC. So I'm as old as SFC. So I should know everything about SFC. And I'm currently teaching those subjects like the fundamentals of logic, those mathematics or related to the computer science. Also about software, general software or functional programming and web information system. Web is very important to our current the society, I think. And we in SFC, we have something called the W3C host, which is actually standardizing the web technology. And for our Kenkyukai, my seminar one is about machine learning, and another one is software development. That's what is about me. So next is the Lim Howe. Please do your introduction. Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Howie. I'm a graduate from SFC. I graduated in 2017 in the Faculty of Environment and Information Studies. I participated in the Professor Wada's seminar or Kenkyukai, which we will explain it later in the later half of the roundtable talk. And I also participate in the wind orchestra in SFC. So I lived in actually Japan for more than 10 years, because I'm currently working in Hamamatsu in Japan, which is between Osaka and Tokyo. During my 4 years in SFC, I spent a year in a study abroad in University of Wisconsin-Madison in the US, and I can speak many different languages. So if you have any questions about SFC or about finding a job in Japan, feel free to ask.
Thank you, Lim Ham-kun. Next is the Novita-san.
Hi everyone, I'm Novi. I graduated from SFC from Faculty of Policy Management in 2019. I'm actually from Jakarta, Indonesia, and I was in Sayuri Shirai Sensei's lab back when I was in SFC. I'm sort of majoring in economics. I was able to join the badminton club and the photography club. And now I'm currently working at the Central Bank, which is Bank of Indonesia, but in the Bali representative office. I'm currently a junior analyst in the MSME development unit. Next, please. The reason why I chose KU is because I guess KU is a bit different from other campuses in terms of we can basically choose any classes we want, regardless of your faculty. And then with GIGA program, which is the international program, you can actually meet a lot of people from a lot of backgrounds, which will give you an overview about how it is to work in international community. And then with seminar, it helps me to narrow down what I want to do later in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our two alumni working very well in all over the world, Japan and Indonesia. And now, next is a current student, Shaimay-kun.
Yeah, hi, I'm Shaimay. So I'm originally from India, but I lived in Japan for 4 years as a child. And then I went back to India to continue my middle school and high school studies. And I came back to Japan to study at SFC. The current seminar that I'm a part of is called Aiber Kotosaka, which is essentially strategic management studies. But my work and essentially what I've been doing for the last few years is these few things, which is currently I'm a football data analytics intern at a company in Japan. And then I've been an entrepreneur in residence in the past, and also an engineering intern at a startup called Amoeba Energy, which was a robotic startup. And then in terms of circles, I'm the former president of AIS. And my hobbies, there's listed here: football, reading, and rap music. And if you have any questions, you can add me on Instagram. My handle is right there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Another student is the Kana Takechi. Yeah, Kana, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Kana. I'm in Faculty of Policy Management. I'm currently the second year GIGA student. Before coming to SFC, I was in Thailand, Bangkok for 4 years, and I came to SFC in 2019. I really enjoy a variety of activities in SFC, including circles, classes, and seminars. And I'm in 2 circles. One of them is AIS, and another one is a rugby circle, and I'm the manager of the rugby circle. And I also enjoy playing badminton. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Two of us actually introducing about the AIS. AIS actually stands for Association for International Students. They are helping those students who are coming from the international all over the world. Now, finally, the Professor Kunieda.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mika Kunieda. I am a graduate of SFC, the Faculty of Policy Management. And you'll see on the top left-hand side a photograph of the first dean of the Policy Management faculty. And my instructing professor at that time, Professor Kagao, who's retired now. So I started off at SFC, and I'm back at SFC as an assistant professor right now. And this is a little bit of a snapshot of what I've been doing over the years since graduating. So first of all, I ended up in Kenya. As you see in the second picture on the left, I am working in the background there on a computer with my Kenyan counterparts. And this is the picture on the left bottom side is a school, a private in Kenya. So this is essentially what I was doing in Kenya, was helping communities to build their, to reinforce their schools. And then after working with the World Bank, I ended up in JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. I ended up in UNICEF, working in West and Central Africa. So this is basically the area that is covered in West and Central Africa, the orange colorings of this the continent. And one of the things was to work with the local governments to improve vaccination coverage rates for children 0 to 5 years old. So that was one of my jobs. And so the right top corner photo is one of my profile photos at this KO, and a project that I'm currently undertaking is a project in Niger, West Africa, on supporting sort of women, illiterate women, to vaccinate their children. So this is basically a little bit of sort of showing you what I'm doing. I sort of teach classes on all kinds of things, evidence-based health policy and communication, Africa, so regional studies. And I also do a class on human capital. So basically, those are the classes that I do. I have 2 seminars. One is in English and one is in Japanese. And the one in Japanese is on Africa. And the one in English, which might be more interesting for all of you, is the one on solution design for policies and environments. And we call it SDPE in short. So basically, I am from SFC. I'm back at SFC, and I'm hoping, I'll be able to contribute to all of your career developments, and especially if you're interested in an international career. Okay, so I'm taking the lead here, and we will be going right into our roundtable talk. We will be talking about why SFC. Before enrollment. So before coming to SFC, why did you choose SFC? And then we'll be talking about while you're here, while you're at SFC, what can you expect? The classes, the seminars, the extracurricular activities. And then finally, post-graduation. So what are some of the career paths that you can take when you come, after graduating from SFC? And we have 2 alumni here, including myself, so that would be 3, about what career paths you can take after graduating. As you will probably know from some of the other earlier live topics that we've done on this campus, online campus, then I think you might start to understand that the Faculty of Policy Management and the Faculty of Environmental and Information Studies are both very diverse and flexible. So let's hear from our students about what was their reason why they came to SFC. Any volunteers?
Sure. I think I'll go first.
Thank you.
And so I lived in Japan as a child for about 4 years. And so I had some sort of an idea of what Japan's like. And similarly, my parents have also lived here for quite a while. And so there I guess even before like I made the decision, I would like to think that they made the decision already that, okay, if he does go abroad, he's probably going to go to Japan, because it's, I guess one thing that's not taken into account, I guess in a student's mind, is that parents really think about the safety. And so one of the things, Japan is obviously, it's quite safe. And so that was one of the things. And apart from that, when I was in high school, I was quite interested in sports analytics, especially with football, so football data analytics. And back then, and even now, honestly, but back then I couldn't sort of find a specialized course at any university that allowed me to sort of focus on, well, sports related data science. It was either computer science or sports management, but nothing that sort of intersected. And so when I learned about SFC, I figured out that I could sort of tailor a class schedule that included computer science classes, that included math classes as a normal computer science degree would, but then at the same time also included some sort of sports classes or sports management classes. And then apart from that, since I was still 18 and I hadn't made a decision about what I wanted to do with life at that point in time, that was something that was interesting, but I didn't know if it would be something that I would want to do for the rest of my life. I also knew that SFC had that kind of a flexibility that allowed me to sort of explore other interests as well. And so those are, I think, some of the main reasons I came to SFC. Kana, would you like to take over here?
Okay, so like for me, I grew up in Japan until when I was 15 years old. So Japan was always an option for me to study as a university student. And the reason I got interested in SFC was the mock lectures in open campus. So while I attended other universities open campus, it was mostly about like one faculty such as economics. But for SFC, I got to listen to the lecture about community development, and it was so interesting. So that's the reason I chose SFC.
Novi or Howie, anything that you would like to add?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so as everyone said, that SFC is a very variety of courses. You can take a lot of different mathematics, economics, science, and there's a lot of different courses you can take in SFC. And I think that is very unique to SFC. And it's actually out of different campuses in KO, that is also very unique. So while you're studying your 4 years in SFC, it will be very, you can expand your views and also your maybe things that you don't think is quite interesting, but when you take it as a course, you will find it, oh, that is very interesting for myself. And it might also lead to finding your career path in the future.
Yeah, I think we have courses in design and art and architecture too, and music maybe. We have, yeah.
Yes, music, computer music, yes.
Yes, computer music and brain waves and things like that, right?
That's
okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Novi?
Yes, the reason why I chose SFC was because actually my uncle graduated from Japan. That's how I got to know Japan. And I started looking up about a program that is like full in English, and I wanted to study economics. So then I came across with SFC's GIGAS program, and then there is this Faculty of Policy Management. And I read that if you got accepted to KO, then you can basically take any classes that you want, whether it's in Hiyoshi campus or in Mita campus. So regardless of what your faculty is, it doesn't matter in KO. So it's like that sort of flexibility that I really like. So I got to explore a lot of things, and I was sure that I wanted to study economics because I had these options that was like on the table for me, and that's how I sort of like at the end focus and narrowed down my study to economics, because I was able to do a lot of things when I was still like a freshman or a junior.
Thank you, Novi. Can you tell us all if you were able to visit campus before you came to Japan?
Yeah, I was. I think the summer before I joined SFC, actually even probably a year before I joined SFC, when I was still sort of brainstorming which university I should get into, they allowed me to come on campus, and I was sort of given a campus tour. And I think a student back then gave me a very nice campus tour, allowed me to sort of sit in on his seminar and listen to what the lectures were like and things like that. So it was quite I guess if the COVID measures do allow it, maybe you could perhaps come to campus before you do join SFC.
And if you can't, any advice from Novi or Howie? I don't know if you were able to come before you came.
Well, of course, during the time, well, a few years ago, YouTube or Instagram or Twitter was not that available, but now we have YouTube Live. So, and of course, with the archive videos from SFC, you can take a look at our the environment or SFC, and also sample courses. I think it will be very helpful to look at it and maybe kind of think about, oh, this might be interest for me. So I think that will be, especially during this COVID time.
Okay, so if this is sort of like maybe people are not able to travel right now, so it might be good to sort of go through all the archives and maybe the recent I just saw a video, YouTube video on our sort of a tour of the campus. So these are some ways to get to know the campus, which is, as you can probably see from everybody's background, it's quite a beautiful campus. and sometimes you can even see Mount Fuji from one of our buildings. So I think this is definitely one of the things that really attracted me back several times. Just sort of the tranquility and the quietness, and also the fact that there are not many people. So if you're worried about COVID-19 and all these, lots of people in Tokyo and so on and so forth, you don't have to worry about it on this campus. Okay, anybody want to add something about the current situation or the campus environment? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Kana?
Currently, we have hybrid classes. So some of the classes are on campus because students and teachers are getting vaccinated. More classes are expected to be on campus next semester, but there are still online options as well. So international students are able to join classes even if they are not able to come to Japan.
Exactly, yeah. Very important. I feel like I'm talking to an empty classroom most of the time, and especially for classes in English, just because most of my students are overseas right now, back at home. So you can join classes from home if you can't travel to Japan. But I think in the next few years, you'll be able to come to campus and really spend like 150% of your time here. Yeah, so let's just sort of transition to the during studies here at SFC part. Shaimay, do you want to start off by sort of talking about your current experience as a student?
Sure. So so during SFC, and as I kind of mentioned in my introduction, in the last question, I kind of figured out that maybe that's not the way I want to go. The sports analytics way is probably not the way I want to go. And so what allowed me to sort of figure that out was, of course, there's a lot of classes that I took and things like that, but the seminar structure is actually quite unique to, I think probably just in the world, it's quite unique because it allows for very, very in-depth research just from your second year, and even maybe second semester of your first year, if you're kind of sure about what you want to do. And so not a lot of universities offer that. And so at one point in time, I was in two completely different seminars that were engaged in quite different fields. So one of them was quantum computing, Professor Van Meter's quantum computing seminar, while also being a part of Professor Kotosaka's strategic management seminar. And so that allowed me to find connections in these fields and sort of explore my own interests, because I didn't know if I liked quantum computing. And it just it allowed me to sort of see if something fit. And if it didn't, then I was allowed, obviously it wasn't something that I had to do. I could change seminars as much as I wanted to. And so, yeah. And then the other good thing is that all these professors at SFC, they're very heavily involved with the industry. And so they're very well connected. And so that it helps you put your research into a very broad context. So for example, when I was a part of the quantum computing seminar, we had a IBM quantum computing hackathon where IBM flew in the head of their quantum computing and most of their European employees to sort of come to Japan and interact with students and sort of explain their sort of difficulties and situation of what the industry is like and what it's going to be like in the next 10 years. And so rather than just having a very narrow focus on, just a very specific thing in quantum computing, it was also quite wide, eye-opening to see what people actually engaged in the field are doing. And then similarly, currently, since I'm in a strategic management seminar, we've had discussions and things with Nissan, DNA, Bain Capital, Japan Tobacco. And so it's always sort of this feedback from the industry, regardless of which seminar you're in. And apart from that, I think professors, since they're well connected, they can also help you land internships and perhaps maybe in the future, maybe Howe can talk about it, I don't know, but maybe even jobs. And so I think 2 or 3 of my internships that I've done in the past, I've gotten through connections of professors. So the startup that I was working at in my first year, which was a robotics startup, was in fact an SFC professor's robotics startup. And so that allowed me to both interact with him during class and then outside of class and sort of see how the industry is like and what, just casually interact with professors and also learn from them outside of class and outside of a formal setting. And then the current job that I'm working at as a sports data analytics intern was also through one of the professors at SFC. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of, it's both academic, but then at the same time, there's a lot of industry focus if you choose to take the opportunities to interact with the industry. Yeah.
And I see a question here that asks about whether academic advisors or mentors are, sort of only if you belong to a seminar. What do you think about the distance between faculty and students? Kana?
I think like the distance between students and faculties are pretty close. Like you can also ask any question to your upperclassmen. They're pretty helpful. So even though if you don't belong to a seminar yet, you can still have a chance to connect with faculties or other students.
Howie?
Yes. So yes, as everyone said that, yeah, the distance between professors and also senpai or upperclassmen is very close, and also including the gakuji, actually, which is the staff. They can really help you to find a house in Japan, also finding a job, or even help you with your maybe daily issues. So I think that is also a very unique point about SFC, where it is more like a family where everyone is here to help you in a sense.
Yeah, I think staff will also help you look for possible career paths. There's a career development office, and they will be very helpful, I think, in providing information on various types of companies and internships, I think. So, and not only that, I think it's also about housing. Can we have sort of an input about your current housing arrangements?
In my first 2 years, I lived in one of the dorms that was, I think, affiliated with SFC. It's called Node Growth. And then this year, once I came back, I was in India, stuck in India for a bit. And once I came back to Japan, I moved into a new apartment, and SFC is my guarantor. And so it was, I mean, again, they'll offer you a lot of help. I did not require as much help, but I know a lot of people who did require a lot of help from SFC, and they got the needful. And I think there's 4 or 5 dorms around campus as well. So if you do need help in that sense, I think Gakuji will be willing to help.
And I think I've seen a few videos of the dorms, introductory videos. So you can also go to the site and actually click on one of those videos to get a better idea of what it's like to live near campus. And I also know that we're building facilities to have students on campus. So you might be one of the lucky ones. Okay. How about extracurricular activities? Anybody want to share what you're currently doing?
So there are actually 2 famous international circles here at SFC, but you can also join Japanese circles as well. I'm in the circle called Association for International Students, which is to help out any international students or to have any events with Japanese students to increase the interaction between international students and Japanese students. And yeah, currently because of the COVID situation, most of the circle activities are online, but we can still have fun talking on with each other online.
So in my first few years, I was a part of a futsal circle. And so we played a bunch of futsal. And then the others, so kind of mentioned there's 2 international circles. So the other one is called JES, which is Japanese English Sports, if I'm not wrong. And so I used to be a part of that as well, which is just interacting, getting Japanese students and the English Giga students to sort of interact while playing sports. And then apart from that, I think extracurricular wise, once you make friends here, since Shonandai, the beauty of this campus and what I've heard from my people who are in other KO campuses as well, the beauty of Shonandai campus is that the town of Shonandai is quite big, and a lot of students, a lot of international students especially, live just near the campus or near in Shonandai. And so that allows you to sort of have this international community, and you can sort of meet anyone at any point in time. And, since most people have houses, you can just go and meet people at houses. Whereas people in other campuses of KO, since they're living in different parts of Tokyo, they can't do that as easily as people who live in Shonandai. And it's quite good, and especially during COVID, because we don't want to travel as much, but at the same time, we do also want to meet our friends, and it's much easier that way.
Yeah. How about you, Howie? I think you were in a wind orchestra.
Oh, yes. So yeah, during my 4 years, actually, I participated in the wind orchestra circle. And yes, I think someone asked about also the opportunity of joining other circles in other campuses. Yes, of course you can, but as other campuses are quite far away from Shonandai or SFC, you need to spend quite a lot of time and also quite a lot of maybe and also your money to actually go to the other campuses to join other circles or actually other extracurricular activities. So during the 4 years, I participated in the wind orchestra and I also got the experience to perform actually a few times at the Tokyo Disneyland.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that you have quite a lot of opportunities to actually perform outside of the campus, but you also have, I suppose, performances within the campus.
Yes, this as well. Yes.
Such as maybe which festival?
Yeah, so there's actually two famous festivals in SFC. One is called the Tanabatasai, which is around July. And the other one is the Akisai, which stands for Autumn Festival. That is the two major events in SFC. Of course, there's also other activities such as Mitasai, which is hosted in the Mita campus. So during your whole year, you can enjoy different activities in different campuses. And also there's also Yagami as well. So quite a lot of your calendar will be quite busy with events.
Kana's background is actually a picture of fireworks that we have. Some of the students actually get a professional sort of qualification to perform this fireworks show. So this is a big sort of attraction for even the local community. I myself, I was a member of the Ultimate Frisbee team, and I still have connections with them. We still get together almost every year. Maybe, COVID has prevented us in the past 2 years, but we have very, very close connections. And I think that's one of the best things about joining circles here at SFC, because it's a sort of it's a family type campus, and we get very close. So besides the classes, besides the seminars, I think the extracurricular activities are something that would bring a lot of light to your life here. Yeah, so I haven't heard from Novi for a while. Let's go into post-graduation and let us know a little bit about your current job. I saw MSME. I wasn't quite sure what that stood for, and how maybe SFC helped you get your job.
Yeah, so currently I'm working at the MSME development unit. It's the micro, small, medium enterprises, stands for that. And I'm a junior analyst there. And I actually got a lot of knowledge from one of the seminars in SFC, which is the Sayuri Shirai Sensei seminar. It's basically focuses on economics. I actually joined quite late when I was in my 3rd year, because on my 1st and 2nd, I was too busy trying out a lot of classes from different campuses. That's how I ended up getting into Kenkyu quite late. And their sensei, Sayuri Sensei, was actually a policy board member of the BOJ. That's how I got to know what a central bank is and what they do. And that's how I kind of foster my interest in inflation, basically what a central bank does. And actually, my graduate project was also focused on the central bank. So Sayuri Sensei really helped me focus my study, like what I want to do in the future, and she aligned that with what I studied in the seminar, and it really helped me build up my knowledge about economics, and it really helped me during the recruitment process when they asked about, like the knowledge of my economics, and yeah.
Are you happy with your job right now?
Yeah, actually really enjoyable, because I got to explore a lot of part of Bali, since I live in Bali right now. So I got to visit a lot of MSMEs here.
Oh, wow, Bali. I'd like to go back there. Howie, tell us a little bit about your job.
Yes, so actually when I graduated, I was looking for a job in Japan, and I while during finding a job in Japan, I actually discussed with the gakuji or the staff in SFC about, okay, how to get a job in Japan or how to go through interviews. And I found them very, very helpful. And of course, as we just said before, SFC is like a family and everyone is really here to help you. And while I actually, after graduation, I worked as a computer engineer, and now currently I moved into global business. But throughout the studies in SFC, learning about different courses, for example, in computer programming, and of course in business management, that was very helpful in my career right now. And I think someone asked about the workload between maybe studying and circle activities. I think that really depends on the circle you attend. For wind orchestra, we have quite a lot of high dense practice almost every day. So in that sense, you need to spend quite a lot of time into your circle activity in a sense like that.
Yeah, I definitely found that the diverse topics that I studied at SSC were very, very helpful. I consider them my drawers. So every single topic becomes a drawer. And when I needed to sort of, come up with a creative or innovative solution to a problem that was never tackled before, or where our African experts were not able to sort of see out of the box, I was sometimes able to provide that solution just because I had seen, different psychology. I had seen economics, political science, anthropology. All these kind of topics actually helped me build my career. So it's not only getting into your first job, but it's also afterwards when you're trying to step up and build your career. So definitely this very wide and diverse sort of faculty is something, and not only one faculty, but actually two. And we even have the nursing people around. So we could have some, input from the medical side. There is a hospital nearby. So sometimes some of the faculty are actually medical doctors. And it's, when we had this COVID problem, we were first at loss at what to do, but these people came in and stepped in and helped us sort of understand the science behind some of the virus transmission and so on and so forth. So this is one of the best parts of SFC. I don't know if anybody wants to sort of add to that. Shaimay, I saw you sort of nodding, but do you have something?
No, I think that's probably enough.
Okay. Are there some, we should probably go to some of the questions that we haven't answered so that we can, satisfy people's curiosity here?
Yes, Kunieda sensei, please. I move to the Q&A session now. Is it okay? Maybe we can go backwards. Yeah, there's a question about, do most GIGA students find jobs or go to graduate schools in Japan after graduation, or do they choose to go abroad or go overseas?
Oh, that is, well, I think it depends on the graduation year. So during my year, I think there is quite a lot of people who remain in Japan, and also some remain in SFC to pursue their studies, and some maybe went to other universities such as Tokyo University or Kyoto University and other university in Japan as well as overseas.
Thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities actually. Yes, at the very beginning, I think there are a lot of GIGA students actually went to the graduate schools, and now we are getting jobs. The students are getting jobs in Japan too. Yes. And another question is, I'm interested in how in SSC is how SSC is flexible with the courses students can take. Are there any specific Kenkyukai courses of students who are interested in biology or health science or immunology? We have biology professors. I think some of you have taken courses of biology or.
Yes.
Oh, yes. How?
Yes. Yeah. It was quite a few years ago. I think it was Professor Wakita Sensei. I think at that time. I'm not sure. Maybe she's still here at SFC. But yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of courses you can take in SFC, and other courses as I kind of described. There are also Mita campus and also Yagami and Hiyoshi campuses where you can also take courses there as well. So there's, I think, more than, I don't know, 300 or 400 courses per semester. You can take a look at it.
Yeah, and I also know that there's a wet lab and a dry lab here on campus. So biology is definitely one topic that you can pursue. And if you are even interested in metabolomics, then you can go on to other campuses as an SFC student. So that's one thing. I'm in the health science sort of perspective. So I can say for sure that we do have courses in health sciences and people who have some expertise in immunology.
Mhm. We have also the Tsuruoka town campus, the north up in Japan, and where there is yes, that metabolomics analysis has done. Also, some of the graduates that created the company, for example, the Spiber, which is actually creating artificial Spiber as well, kind of thing. We can combine the business area as well as the biology. That's very unique, I think, in the SFC. Another question, the randomly choosing, so it's not related to this, but what is your workload like? How much time do you spend studying versus circle activities? Kana-san, how about you?
I think for like normal school days, I would spend around an hour for school studies. But before the exams, I have to study more. But like for circle activities, I usually have it like once or twice a week, so I could easily balance the workload and circle activities.
Do you need to study a lot in Japan in SSC? What do you think? Homeworks and so on.
I believe there's a lot of report writing. There's many reports, maybe more compared to other universities and campuses. And also the stress level is not as high as maybe Western universities, especially before exam time. I think it's just maybe the mix of students that we have, but I find it more, enjoyable if you want. The stress level is not as high as other foreign universities. So that's one thing you might want to think of.
And I think adding on to that is that the way the syllabus and the courses are designed at SFC is that it allows people to explore their interests outside of school. And I think that's one of the main factors that contributes to the fact that the workload for like per class is quite low if you compare it to maybe some other universities, both in Japan and outside of Japan. But then at the same time, that allows you to explore, do internships during school time, or do, vitals and part-time work, or even engage in your own research or whatever you want to do. And so that way the stress levels are as high as pretty low just from SFC, but you can do a lot of other things. And yeah, that both the academic and the industry experience sort of contributes to your learning at SFC.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Another question is, this person is interested in SFC. What is the most exciting experience you had at SFC? How? Yeah. If you look at back to your stay in SFC.
I think the most memorable experience is, of course, the fireworks or the akisai, where you can actually enjoy different food and as well as the fireworks on campus. And also, so I think about the job hunting, there's a question about the job hunting for foreigners. Yes, as I'm a foreigner working in Japan, and maybe there's not a lot of foreigners in Japan as well. And actually, SFC provide a lot of assistance, including mock interviews, also looking through your resume, and also help you with polishing the Japanese, and also maybe basic Japanese manner, which is kind of different from Western, or how you speak or how you write your resume is very different. So I think in that regard, SFC staff and also including professors can help you with that.
Thank you very much. You answered a good for another question. Yes, there was a question about assistance we provide for the job hunting. Thank you. Kana, do you want to say something?
I wasn't. It's okay.
Can I add on the interesting experience? Since I actually lived in an apartment nearby the campus, so I usually just bike to school, And when it's like spring, you can actually see a lot of sakura when you're like cycling to school, and it was like really beautiful. I was like, when I was last year, I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss this so much. And sometimes you can actually also see the Fujiyama when you're like going down to the campus. It's like, I don't think you can see a lot of that environment in other campuses. So it's like really memorable for me. Like just the environment around SFC is really pretty.
Thank you. Do you miss SFC?
Yes, I'd like to go back, please.
Compared to the Indonesia. Well, you are in the Bali. Bali is a famous place for the sightseeing.
Yeah, but it's really like there's not many people here since it's COVID right now. It's quite empty.
Okay, thank you. Yes, there's a question. For video interviews for admissions, should applicants emphasize what they have done in high school, or what do you want to do in SSC? The experience of Shaimay-kun.
I'm by the video interviews, because when I applied, I'm not sure if the application process is the same or not. So I don't know if I'm qualified to speak, but if it's the same, then if it's the 1 minute video that you have to shoot of yourself, or the 2 minute video that you have to shoot for yourself, then I think just pretty much just talk about yourself and what you want to do in SFC pretty much. And yeah, just have like half of what you've done in high school, what you're like, and a little bit about what you want to do in the future. I think that'll be fine.
How about the Kana? What did you create your video for the interview?
Yeah, I agree with what Shaimay has said. I think like for my video, like for the first part, I talked about what I did in high school and try to connect to like what I want to do in the future at SFC.
Okay, I'm sorry, we are running out of time. So it's now time to wrap up. We hope you enjoyed and received useful information. And thank you for watching RoundTable Talk by alumni, faculty members, and current SS students called FYSSC. And we appreciate your time, and please join the closing event, which is done on the another URL probably. We're looking forward to seeing you on campus soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Arigatou gozaimashita.
ありがとうございました。
もう私は